One kind of identifier that is used very often in a program is called variables. In many applications, a program would need to reserve a chunk of computer memory for storing values to be used by the program. A variable represents a piece of computer memory that can store a value. Typically, such memory is allocated to a variable on request by a program. The value of a variable can be changed so that a program would be more flexible for handling different inputs. For example, in a course grade program, exam score, lab score, and homework score can take on different values depending on the input. The identifier final grade is also a variable. It stores the result of the weighted sum, which depends on the value of the input scores. The name of a variable is like a label for a piece of memory space. From the perspective of a computer, a bunch of memory addresses is sufficient. But for human programmers, we need a better way to distinguish and refer to the memory spaces. An analogy is the use of mailboxes. Each mailbox is labeled by its owner or identifier, and different kinds of mails or values can be put into the mailbox. A variable is created through a declaration process. The purpose of declaration is to make it known to the computer what a particular identifier name means in a program. A variable declaration in a program consists of three major parts. It starts with a data type, followed by an identifier, and ends with a semicolon. So this is the syntax of making a variable declaration. For example, in a course grade program, a declaration of the variable exam weight was made by the statement int exam weight, where int is the integer data type, exam weight is an identifier, and the statement would just end with a semicolon. If you refer back to the course grade program, the statement int exam weight doesn't just end right after exam weight, but it follows by equal 70. The statement int exam weight equal to 70 declares and initializes exam weight in one single statement. Declaration and initialization can also be done in separate steps. Either way would result in the same effect. The equal sign you see here is an assignment operator. In this case, exam weight equal to 70 is an assignment statement, and I'll come back to this topic later in the lecture. You'll find that if the program refers to exam weight before it is initialized, it would result in a compile time error. Although Java will initialize some kind of variables, I'll talk more about that when we discuss classes and objects. It is always a good programming practice to initialize a variable before using it. After a variable is declared and initialized, its value can be modified by an assignment statement. The old value, in this case 70, would be permanently removed and replaced by the new value 50. One can retrieve the value of a variable by referring to its name. In this example, by referring to exam weight on the right-hand side of the equal sign, the value of exam weight is retrieved. The value is then assigned to lab weight, and the result will be stored in the memory cell allocated for lab weight. Sometimes, we want to keep a variable's value unchanged throughout the program. For example, identifiers for mathematical constants such as pi. Pi is given the value 3.14159 here. This is the constant you use in computing the perimeter and area of circles. In a course grade program, exam weight, lab weight, homework weight can be considered as constants. If you want fixed weight for every student, you can prevent accidental changes to the value of a variable by finalizing its value. This is done by adding the keyword final in front of the declaration of a variable. Such variables are often referred to as constants. You can assign value to a final variable only once. In the example that you have seen, the statement int exam weight equal to 70 declares and initializes exam weight. If you add the keyword final in front of the declaration, the effect is like locking the memory, and the value cannot be changed again. An attempt to reassign a value to a final variable would cause a compilation error. For example, if exam weight has been declared as final, the compiler would complain if an attempt is made to change the value of exam weight to 50, like what you have done before, even if you have done poorly in exam and want to reduce its weight.